Hello guys, it's Hayden. Welcome to my channel. Today I'd like to introduce a photographer, Philip Slotte, to you.
Philip Slotte is a 28-year-old landscape and travel photographer based in Stockholm, Sweden. His work has been featured by National Geographic, Better Big Soul, SLR Lounge, Nikon, DIY Photography, CWE, and more. He started with photography when he was 16 years old by taking photos with his phone, and in June 2012, he received his first digital camera as a gift from his parents. Since then, he has spent many hours in nature to learn how to become a better photographer. His first significant and most influential experience with landscape photography came during a holiday trip to Norway shortly after receiving his first camera, where he fell in love with landscapes and mountains and landscape photography. Early, he was inspired by a fellow Swedish photographer called Gustav Larsson, and he thinks his style of photography came from looking at photographers' work. More recently, he's been drawn to the work of Dag-Ole Northug, Hans Deland, Tobias Hägg, and Max Rife. Philip loves landscape photography so much because landscape photography allows him to work independently, which suits his introverted personality. It also gives him the freedom to plan his own adventures and shoot at his own pace. Nature is constantly changing and he loves the challenge of capturing its different moods and elements. As a landscape photographer, one of the most common questions he gets asked is, "Where was this photo taken?" Because of that, he decided to create a complete map with all the locations he has photographed during his adventures and travels. The map is constantly updated with new locations. Let's have a look. So as we can see, he has actually been to most of the places in Europe. That's really a great life experience. But I have to mention that he has also been outside Europe. He has been to the United States, but the map doesn't show that. Philip Slotte has a great love for photography, traveling, nature, and his life, and he combines and balances these things so well. He once said, "What I love about landscape photography is the combination of traveling and photography. I love exploring and seeing new places." For the past few years, Philip has been keen to step out of his comfort zone and pursue a long-held dream of climbing big mountains. Over the next few years, he hopes to combine his passion for photography with his dream of climbing mountains to capture photos of places that are less seen and harder to reach. Philip Slotte has a special style in photography. Once in an interview, he said that his aim was to capture landscapes in a way that felt both natural and dreamlike, and he was always in search of compositions that balance light and shadow, with an eye for leading lines and interesting foregrounds. His work process is organized and planned well. He usually starts by planning the location and timing, taking into account the light and weather conditions. During the shoot, he may use techniques such as focus stacking or multiple exposures, but he often aims for a single shot. In post-production, he mainly works in Adobe Lightroom to adjust color and contrast, and then refines the image in Photoshop, adding effects such as the Orden effect for a softer look. In Philip's opinion, as for the equipment, as long as they suit his needs, that's all that matters. He recently upgraded from his 8-year-old Nikon Z810, which was still working perfectly, to a Nikon Z7 II, mainly to save weight as he does a lot of walking. His lenses are a Nikon Z14 to 24mm and a Nikon Z24 to 200mm. For aerial photography, he uses the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. Also, a sturdy tripod is a must for him, and he uses a Gitzo tripod. And he doesn't rely heavily on filters, but he does occasionally use ND filters. He never uses polarizers, which often surprises people, but prefers the natural look without polarizers.
So now we know a little bit about Philip. and I'm gonna show you 5 of his works and also my works inspired by them. I took my pictures when I was traveling to the Big Bend National Park in Texas using my Canon EOS R100, and the objects in my pictures are mainly about desert scenery.
So let's take a look. This photo is named Cave with a View, which was taken in the French Alps, from inside a cave looking out over a valley. It is Philip's favorite work because it was challenging to balance light and shadow while taking it, and it also reminds him of one of his favorite childhood films, The Land Before Time, according to Philip in an interview. In my opinion, this photo is excellent in composition. Since the photographer used framing and leading lines, the roof and floor of the cave naturally become the frame and draw our attention to the amazing view in the center. Also, the river and mountains work as lines converging in the distance, letting us focus on the picture. Light and shadow are also balanced well in the photo, as the darkness inside the cave contrasts sharply with the bright view outside, keeping us focused on the latter. From near to far, the color layers are rich in the picture. Green and orange leaves, gray mountains, white clouds, and blue and yellow skies make the view even more vivid. All in all, it's brilliant work. This one is called the Le Cime, taken at Blue Hour at the Le Cime di Lavoleto in the Dolomites, Italy. We can see leading lines and centered composition in the photo. A ridge meanders into the distance in the center, and other mountains from left and right all meet in the center, drawing our attention to the huge majestic peaks in the center. In the top half of the photo, the colorful sky at Blue Hour increases the sense of depth of the picture. We can see yellow, blue, and red, with light and dark clouds, a few stars, and a little crescent moon in it. This is Desert Lighthouse, taken at Rubjerg in Denmark. The main composition of the picture is the rule of thirds. As we can see, the top third of the picture is the blue and yellow sky with some light clouds, while the bottom 2/3 is composed of a large area of golden desert and a small part of the blue ocean. The main object is a lighthouse, standing at the intersection of the ground and sky, about a third of the way to the right of the picture. Also, the sand strikes on the ground give the desert a more layered look. The whole picture is simple in composition and color, which creates a feeling of cleanliness, vastness, and tranquility. This is Passo Giao, taken at Passo Giao, Dolomites in Italy. The picture is wisely composed, as we can mainly divide it into 3 parts that block each other from near to far. The nearest stony ground with some wood on it. The farther grassland and the farthest huge peak give the photo a sense of depth. As for the use of light, the photo is getting brighter as the scenery gets farther away. The blue sky sets off the scene on the ground with a yellow hue, which makes the photo more colorful. This photo is called Hintersee, and Philip took it at Lake Hintersee in Bavaria, Germany. We can see the use of reflection and leading lines in the photo. The bottom half of the photo is the clear lake with some rocks in it, which reflects the mountains and sky. The outlines of the mountains and their reflections meet at the center of the photo, letting us focus on the small rock island with 2 trees on it in the center. The lake is calm without ripples, and the whole picture shows a cool tone, giving people a quiet and mysterious feeling. Okay, now let's look at my pictures. I took this picture on a farm, from inside the hallway looking out at a granary, just like Cave with a View. The roof of the hallway and the fence become the frame and draw our attention to the granary and red tractor in the center. As for this picture, I shot it from the bottom too, just like the Le Cime. I used the centered composition and 2 lines from left and right to let us focus on the peak. The sky is also blue. This photo's composition is similar to Philip's Desert Lighthouse. I used the rule of thirds. The top third of the picture is the blue sky, while the bottom 2/3 is composed of a large area of desert and plains. The main object is a belvedere or something else, located at the intersection of the ground and sky, about a third of the way to the left of the picture. I composed this picture according to Passo Giao. We can divide it into 3 parts that block each other from near to far. The nearest plants, the farther green tents, and the farthest mountains give the photo a sense of depth. As for the use of light, I took it in the morning so the photo is darker in the near, and the farthest mountains are golden and bright with the morning sunshine. The blue sky, golden mountains, and dark green tents and plants help to make the photo seem colorful. As for this picture, I show the valley from the bottom. We can see the use of reflection and leading lines in the photo. The lake at the bottom with some ripples reflects the outline of the cliff and mountains. The outlines meet at the center of the photo, letting us focus on the bright part in the center. The dark gray-blue cliff on the left and right also contrasts sharply with the bright mountain.
Okay guys, so these are all for this video. Leave a comment if you want, and click the like button and subscribe to my channel. See ya!